Hi, Cobalt Carl here again with a video on MiR integration. Um, this actually comes from this post that I did yesterday. And if you haven't seen this video, you can just click the link up here. But Birol Esmer from MiR asked me to talk a little bit about the event-driven architecture. So this video is about exactly that. The differences in the event-driven versus polling APIs. So um, if you've been using the MiR API previously, you'll know that it was a standard REST API where we do a get or a post or a patch or whatever kind of interaction with the API, but it's been polling. So we can't subscribe to something and get the event data back. And what this means is that um, we're going to be asking, do we have any updates? Do we have any updates? Do we have any updates? And this will, continue until we have some updates. So this will flood the server with requests, no matter if it's needed or not. So this also means that if we're polling the server at, say, 5-second intervals, we're going to have a delay. If that change happens at 5.1 seconds, we're going to have 4.9 seconds delay. And this is not very good in real-time scenarios. So if we then change to a subscription-based API instead, we're going to be subscribing to the server and telling it that, hey, we're interested in this topic and this topic and this topic. And whenever something changes in the server related to that topic, we're going to get back to that response. So in this case, when the robot is available, we're going to know exactly when it's available, not 4.9 seconds too late, but actually when it happens. And this kind of architecture means that it's really good for real-time control. It also maintains a very low bandwidth. And this means that we can scale this to a much larger extent that we've been able to do before. So if we jump into the setup that I've shown in the previous video, this is our warehouse outside of Stockholm. We have a pallet jack and a 250 right now. And I have a Node-RED server running where I have a couple of nodes and a couple of flows. I just unsubscribed to the fleet. So right now I'm not getting anything from it. But if I press subscribe up here, I'm going to be telling I'm going to be activating a subscription to a set number of topics. And then those topics are going to be coming into the Node-RED server on my own API URLs. So I can actually filter out the different information that I'm getting. And so if I subscribe here right now, I'm going to be getting, first of all, a subscription result that's direct. I'm going to get some other info, amongst which is the site info. And this is actually a complete snapshot of the whole site in the fleet. I have all the missions, I have all the robots, I have all the positions, etc. with entity info. This means that getting all the data available, which we previously had to do with a specific GET request, this can now be done with one request, and we get all the info of the fleet. So what I've done over here is I've just filtered out some of these and pushed these to, I'm looking at serial order status, I'm looking at items, and I'm looking at robot state. And you can see this one that I showed you previously in the same little cockpit. I built some new tools. You saw this one, the modify position, but I also have this one, which then shows me these different nodes that I showed you, the serial order status, the robot state, and the errors. And I also have a little force snapshot, so I can update myself by force if I want to. And then I can also see on the status that this is actually snapshot. So this is not a real-time event change. This is also quite convenient for your logic to actually be able to see, is this something that we've forced from server side, or is this actually something that's pushed to us because it's an event-driven logic? Now, if I go back to the MiR Fleet, I have a little position here in the middle of the warehouse, and I have a mission that I can call, which just moves a robot to that position. So I can do move to position. I can choose my MiR 250 and I can schedule it. Boom. Then if I go to, now we can see that the latest serial order status is not a snapshot. It's triggered. Let's see what's happening. Robot state idle. Since now someone is executing, so we're getting that the robot ID is executing, and now it's actually finished. So probably if we check into the map, we'll see that the robot is in, yes, it's in this position. And quite soon we're going to see that this changes again to executing because I have auto staging. So the robot will now move to a staging position probably. Let's see if that happens. Yep. So the 250 is then being moved out of position to a staging location. And once that is finished, you'll get an update saying that it's finished. So you'll see that if we want to trigger a mission from an API, it's very convenient to just be able to look at, instead of just polling all the time when the mission is being run, we can just check for the serial order status on that robot to see when the process is actually finished. So just to sum this up, the benefit of this, if we really drill it down, is that we can have a larger number of robots in one fleet and integrate it on multiple API levels, because the number of API calls that we need to do to accomplish something is far lesser than on the standard polling-based API. If you're interested in more of these kind of videos, feel free to subscribe to Cobalt Carl on YouTube or hook me up on LinkedIn, and where you'll see these videos as well. Have a good one.